All right. Well, I've been just seeing so many things about anger lately. I think you sent me the Alanis Morissette thing where she's talking about how it's like they were gonna put Hand in My Pocket, maybe is the first
Yes.
song, but then she was like, no, we're gonna do Ironic.
Yeah, because she's like, the first song you get labeled.
Yeah.
And so, like, do I want to be labeled as that person? Or, like, what do I want my label to be? And she was like, anger. I want to be known as the angry woman.
And then forever after, she has been.
Yeah. And it's perfect because
It
she
is.
keeps reminding us every time it's okay to fucking be pissed off.
Yeah. And then I just saw this clip. I think it was one of the late night shows, and there's an author, and she's written a book called, no, it might have been actually The Daily Show. She is an author and she's written a book called Good and Bad, and it's probably been out for a while because now I think she's writing a version that's for younger women. And Good and Mad, not Good and Bad, Good and
Oh, good
Mad.
and mad.
And basically, she's just talking about like the movements over time that have kind of been started by women that were angry. And she didn't give this reference, but I remember someone talking about in France in like the late 1700s when they were going through their revolution. It was women that led the charge to Versailles to like
Hmm.
oust the king and queen from the palace there. And it's like these stories kind of are buried or just never told really, but they're out there. So she's compiling them into a new book, I think is what she was saying.
Nice.
But and then I was talking to someone this week about like how good it feels to get mad. You know what I mean? But it's like we've talked about this before, the difference between the like anger that's up in your chest and throat and the anger that's like down connected to your belly and like root chakra, like your first couple of chakras down there. Just
Mm-hmm.
that grounded anger and how different it feels that when you're like then the spun up anger. I think the spun up anger is when you would like murder or punch someone. But when you're in the grounded anger, I feel like I'm less likely to want to do physical violence.
I was thinking about the difference between my anger. I feel like there's the I'm mad because I'm acting out of a wounded child space,
Yeah.
which for me feels like does not feel grounded, doesn't feel rooted, feels like a little bit out of control, very much reactionary, versus the pedophilia is not okay anger. Like, no. I
No.
have no wounding around this, but I can tell you, I will rip someone's fucking face off
Yeah.
because it's not okay. No part of it's okay. No part of
Yeah.
it's okay.
Right. But it's not an out of control anger. Maybe that's a better way to
No.
say it. It's out of
Yeah, it's like
control versus
it's rooted in what should be a basic human core principle that fucking molesting children is not okay. Like,
right.
no, no excuse. No, there is no excuse. None.
Ye-
No.
It's so true because it's like I open Instagram and I'll be like, I'll see a news article and be like, no,
Mm-mm.
no,
No. Just
no, we're
no.
not doing this. No.
Yeah, it's like that. Every part of my being is in alignment on this, and it's just a no.
It's a no for me, thanks.
Which, by the way, I learned the power of no from Laura Hale right here. No.
Someone criticized me for that when I was young. Like, I was in my, I don't know when I was, it's a long story, but it's a relative of mine was like complaining to her mom about me saying no. Cause like I probably say no more than, it's like I probably should do a year of yes, like that person did with their book. You know what I mean? Cause I'm like, wait a while. She's like, I don't know about that. Why?
God, no. Um, no, I think like the whole like yeah, it's because we're taught to be good girls.
Yeah.
Good girls don't say no. Good girls say yes. Good girls smile. Good girls please. Good girls make other people feel good. Fuck all of that.
Yeah.
I'm in my year of rage. Bring on the fire horse.
Bring on the fire horse, fuck it all. Well, it's also all this, like, that was really good.
Thanks.
Um, that we're building up to that, what, 7 planets in Aries in April, which is fire. That's my sign. I've got like 3 planets in Aries. And the South Node, too. So it's like I've got a loaded Aries chart, which Aries, I heard an astrologer say one time, if maybe everyone could, if you're into your astrology and you look in your chart what you have in Aries or what house it's in, it's like you're always just a little bit angry. Aries is always just a little angry.
Yeah, like if there's a charge lead, I don't know whether to bring the gas or the match or both. Probably not both. It's probably dangerous to have both, but like I really want to make sure that the fire gets started.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Oh my God, I'm so mad about everything. We watched Immortal Man, the Pinky Blinders movie.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet because I'm mad that they told me I have 3 episodes to watch before that. And I was like, I can't go back and watch those. Did you do it? You didn't watch the episodes before they recommended? I was like, great. I cannot, you're giving me a 2.5 hour whatever plus movie. And I'm like, do not add three more fucking hours onto this.
I didn't know that was a thing, but that might explain. I did a little bit of reading beforehand because I was like, wait, Duke, I don't really remember Duke. That's the son. But they do a really good job with the movie. You wouldn't even have had to watch the series.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Like they tell enough, they fill in enough of the gaps that the movie would be complete on its own. And what I realized is that like Tommy was just completely comfortable in his rage.
Yes.
Like when he got pissed, he burnt shit down. Like he just killed people. You know, he just shot people. He just did whatever the fuck he needed to do, and it was okay. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's not such a bad way to live. Like, I don't know at this point because the alternatives are not working. I'm not advocating violence. I'm really not. I'm saying this tongue in cheek.
Prison. Like you'd be in prison. It's a problem.
Yeah. He lived in a different time.
At least you wouldn't have to make any decisions and you'd have meals provided to you.
Yeah, because there was a loaf of Dave's bread at the grocery store for $6. $6. A loaf of bread.
This is why I'm like, I'm trying to get into making my own bread. So far I've made like 2 loaves. I don't like my kitchen. This is a problem. It's like too small and I'm like, ugh, I can't deal with it.
It's all so dumb and expensive. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. When are we actually going to get pissed off about this? I don't care that the lines at the airport are long. If that is the only thing that Americans can rally around, we are doomed. We are doomed.
I know but it's like, I feel just so, what I keep remembering is the Europeans criticizing us for not being marching on the streets and someone else being like, hey, Americans don't have the job protections they have in Europe. You could get fired for that. People could be like, nah, we're done with you. And then you have no health insurance. Like, we're kind of, the way this is all set up here is really bad.
Well, it's set up for enslavement.
For the workers.
Let's be real.
It's set up for, Anywho.
Anyway, welcome to a cheery episode of One Card Shy.
The April energy. Total fucking meltdown.
Because March blows, so let's look at April.
Yeah, we're at the end of March doing this video so that you guys can have it for April. I do have a lovely card for the April energies, though.
Oh, good.
I went back. I was like, I always feel like, I think it's just because I'm so familiar with all the cards. I'm like, didn't we just have this one? I did check through the beginning of the year and then the 2026 energies. It's not been this card. The 2 of Hearts.
Oh, 2 of Hearts, 2 hearts that beat as one.
Maybe if we sing a song every time, then I won't forget. They said that, I did read that fun fact for your brains. You know how if you forget, you're like, did I turn off the curling iron? Not that I ever do my hair, but for those of you that are actually using a curling iron, you're supposed to like make a weird noise when you do it. Like, and then your brain later on remembers it because you did the weird noise.
Oh, okay.
So if we sing a song, maybe I'll remember better. What card?
I was just thinking, so if I punch that person in the face that makes me so mad, I should be like, oh yeah, I did.
You won't forget you punched him.
No.
Your sore wrist and elbow and fist might remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay, April, 2 of Hearts. I mean, heart to heart.
Heart to heart. 2 of Hearts, heart to heart. So this is heart to heart. 2s are always about pairing things up. The 2 of Hearts can often like if you were doing a reading on your own, if you were doing your own oracle card reading with our deck that you can buy, and you got this card, it might mean you need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, or if you're looking for love, it might be that, or even like it could mean you're going to have a baby, although that'd be more like an ace of hearts, but it's possible you're adding on to the two. There's a one, and then you're adding the next number up, which makes it two, which is then addition of something. So, but we name this oracle card heart to heart because it does often mean you need to have a heart to heart conversation with someone. Maybe it's yourself. Twos are also all about like your relationship with yourself. So the ace is you yourself, but then two is your relationship to either someone else or yourself. Okay, so that's the traditional cardology. That is the oracle meaning we gave to the card for our deck. But I'm going to have Candy go into the bubble and check in with the higher self collective and ask what we need to know about April 2026 as far as just in general or as related to the Two of Hearts card.
We might have to cut the silence because I had to actually ask them to like, will you just like move my negative energy out of the way first, please?
Shut that shit off to the side.
Yeah, girl, we got it. Jesus. It's like a squeegee. They're like,
we're not cutting this. It's so good.
Okay. It's what they're saying.
Can I give a teaching lesson? Like, yeah. It's so good though that you said that because it's so true. When you are connecting in with your higher self, which is what we teach in the Whisper training, you have to move human Candy aside. You have to move human Laura aside. You have to move your human brain aside because you're like, I fucking hate that person. And then you're like, but I got to let the higher energy come in, and the higher energy does not hate that person. And so therefore it can give me a better, bigger, higher, broader perspective.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what Candy just had to do. She's like, okay, move over.
Yeah. Get angry human Candy out of the way so that I can just be a nice vessel to channel this information through.
You deal with the anger later, but not.
Yeah. Oh, it'll always be there.
Hopefully not.
Fucking not going anywhere. Just kidding. Jokes. Okay. So what they showed for April is it's a little bit like choose your own adventure in that each person is going to get to pick what they are in partnership looking at. So, like for example, when you were talking and you were talking like it was almost like a human to human relationship, and I could kind of feel them starting to like nod their head yes, but then they flashed me like almost like the collective consciousness or Earth. Like I kind of saw it broadly as Earth, and I was like, oh, is it the planet or is it consciousness? And then I was like, both or whichever. Because and then they immediately said like we are in the age of Aquarius, which Aquarius is all about community and collective consciousness. So for some people in April, we're going to be looking at like what is our relationship with Earth, and are we in alignment? Do we need to like do any tidying up, or do we need to adjust how we're relating? Is it with the collective consciousness? Are we being mindful about the energy? They're laughing as it comes out of my mouth. Are we in alignment with the energy that we are putting into the world, with the energy that we want to receive? They're like, mad human Candy, haha. So it's like taking that inventory so that you can then figure out where some adjustments need to be made. If it's human to human, like in any sort of romantic relationship or family relationship, it's looking at, okay, is this relationship in the best standing? God, they're using a lot of like almost like balance sheet or like business type of it's analytical. They're using an analytical terminology. That's how I would describe it. So is the relationship in good standing? Like, or does somebody need to clean up their side of the street? And it's not about necessarily you pointing it out, because if you see like, oh, well, I really wish my partner would do this better. If you're taking note, then it's also a reflection. Like there is a direct correlation to something that you need to clean up on your side of the street too. So the big takeaway that they want is whichever relationship you're looking at, micro or macro, individual or collective, do your inventory and then look at that inventory as if it were your own. because it is also your own.
Yeah, and I think it helps to think of it because that's annoying. I'm gonna be honest, like fuck you guys, but also, you know what I mean. But but also, it is. I mean, you have no control over the other person.
No, but the inventory could also be great. Like the inventory, I mean, you know, it could be a collection of good and bad, but it should also have positives on it.
Okay,
Because in any
that's
relationship,
good.
there will be positives. And so those positives are also a direct reflection.
Yeah,
And they're like, yes. And then you get to decide where you put your focus. Are you going to focus on the negative or are you going to focus on the positive? They're like, and if we look back at the conversation we just had, human candy is right now choosing to focus a tad bit too much energy on the negative and the frustrations. So she'll probably feel that reflected back in spaces, whether it's her own self-talk or, you know, talk from those around her or things that she's seeing. Oh my God, side note, they just reminded me of this. Justin and I had a conversation about how in Asheville, people don't honk as much as they do, like in Indianapolis or other places. Laura and I, we noticed that when we were here.
they're
Like
so
people,
chill. The driving is
way
so
more
much
fucking
chiller
chill.
there. Jesus.
So we were driving around the first week when I was here, and two people almost pulled out in front of us. Justin was driving once, I was driving the second time. So the second time, I was kind of like on the lookout because we were on the same street, and sure enough, a car came right down the same side street. And I happened to see him through the car, so I honked my horn because he was looking the other way. Honked my horn. And Justin was like, people don't honk their horns here. I was like, yeah, people do when it's in a defensive mode. Like I kept us from hitting each other by using my horn because I got his attention. But I have noticed now everywhere that I drive, I hear people honking horns.
That's wild.
But he
What'd
does
you
not.
do? Crack the universe in half?
I don't know. I feel like what it's showing us right now, because we had this conversation, is I feel like the veil is thin enough and like all of the magic is so close for everyone to observe if you want to look at it, that just based on how I want to show up or how I'm choosing to show up, the universe is reflecting that back to me. So because I choose to use my horn, I'm now surrounded at stoplights by people who are also choosing to use their horns. I was in line at a stoplight. 4 cars honked their horn at the person in front of me because they weren't turning. 4 in Asheville. It was craziness. Might as well have been like a riot breaking out. But he doesn't hear it. It doesn't happen when he's driving. I'm like, I think we're starting to create a little bit of our own, like, cause and effect.
Okay, can I tune into it? Because I think it's
Yeah.
coming in anyway. I'm curious. Okay,
Not to
so-
hijack the energy, sorry, but
No, fuck it. We'll get back to that. Okay, so they're like, you're right about the reflection, or it's almost kind of like you prefer things to keep moving. And so the horn, people honking the horn is keeping things moving.
that's so true.
Justin prefers not to be stressed out when he's driving.
Yeah.
So the horn, because the horn is therefore not happening to him, so he's not stressed out. Now, I don't know about Indianapolis. I couldn't say what the people honk their horns, whatever. But in Chicago, the horn is used a ton, and it's just for what you described earlier. It's for information. I'm in front, I'm behind you. Like, it's not to be rude at all. It's completely, and this, I've noticed this in really, really big cities too, other places where it's like, this is just noise so that you don't miss something.
Yeah, it's communication. Oh, we noticed it in Lima and Mexico City.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of horn. It's like a beep beep, like a tap, versus a or somebody's just being a dick.
Right.
Dee-dee. Like, hey, dee-dee.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm here just so none of us get into a wreck. That is so interesting that, like, it's kind of like when you start seeing the same numbers over and over, you're going to buy a red car and you start seeing it. There's science says it's a science thing with your brain, but I feel like it's deeper than that.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it is or not, but it's this thing that is so distinct, and you wouldn't think that our experiences would be so different from each other, living in the same place, driving around the same places, but we are clearly having two very different experiences depending on who's behind the wheel.
And you're both in the car. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
That's wild.
anyway, yeah. So like in April, it's related to that because what what your what's in your awareness is reflected back on all levels. So when you do the inventory, whatever inventory you decide to take, when you do it, remember that you have the choice of where to put your attention,
Right.
negative or positive, or a little bit
Yeah,
of
but
both.
I mean, that is a little bit of like what those scientists say about the brain. The brain's filtering, and there's so much input, and we're filtering out so many things with our brain. And even the like people that talk about the chakras sometimes talk about the energy centers in our bodies as filters. And if we have like a clogged up chakra, or we've got like issues in that chakra, then the energy kind of gets stuck and swirling around there, and you're trying to constantly clear your energy to help move that energy through so you don't get, it's not even stuck, it's more like that when you're triggered, it's like a hitch in your energy system almost. And so the like in both instances, it's like whatever you need to have your attention brought to is going to be what is let through the filter almost. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because on one hand, I could look at it also as how slightly annoying it is when people honk their horns. Like I don't notice how annoying it is if I'm honking my horn because I'm more in the like the defensive space of, oh, I almost got hit there. But then sitting by those four cars that all honked their horns at the lady who was on her phone and not turning, I was just like, oh my God, did all four cars need to honk their horn? Like maybe one was enough, maybe the second one was enough, but like literally the third or fourth was unnecessary because clearly she heard the first two.
Yeah. Well, right. And it makes it's almost like it's bringing it to be like, it brings it to be, and this would be the same thing with like anything you're triggered by that's coming through your energy field or whatever. Even if you're not aware of your energy field, it's still like that trigger coming in, and it's maybe you're hearing the horns more and more to become more aware of when you choose to use it or not, and to be more conscious of it, and knowing that there's no, it's like, it's not black and white, like, no, don't use horns, or yes, always use your horn. It's like, okay, that was annoying. So I would never want to be the third, fourth, or even second person to honk at someone. But you're like, it's creating this ability for you to be more conscious of it.
Yeah, and the only way to be able to make a decision about something is to bring it into your awareness, to become conscious about it, and to decide, okay, do I want to change how I use horns?
That is the lesson of April. What is my status on honking?
Yes. How quick are you to honk?
Yeah.
When do you
can
honk?
you stop yourself when you're just being a dick?
Yeah. It's hard.
It is hard.
Trust me.
It's hard. I did really like living in Chicago. That was my favorite. One of my favorite things about living in Chicago was the driving. It sounds insane, but people are such good drivers. It's so efficient. You just know what to expect from people. I just don't even know how to explain it. Here,
Yeah.
it's like I definitely feel like I'm going to die on the interstate every time I get on it. I don't.
Well,
I
it just
don't.
maybe feels like people aren't paying as much attention because they don't have to,
Baby,
or
yeah.
they think they don't have
And
to.
there's so many semis. There weren't as many semis there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, driving is stupid. America. Let's do hearts for
Okay.
the card of the month. Let's see if there's any more detail we need for people who are hearts. Your birthday, you can look up on our website, rainworld.co. You have a card for your birthday, and that suit is what we're talking about. So the hearts. BRB. Four of Diamonds. We just had this card recently. Solid ground.
Oh yeah, we did.
For the hearts, Four of Diamonds, fours are always about like solid, stable structure as like a square or a home, and just creating this safety for yourself, because if you're feeling emotionally volatile, it helps to have a stable structure or stability in your life somehow. I'm kind of feeling like there's an energy around not so much a physical structure as structure in your daily life. And so for some people, that's going to be like really difficult because you've got lots of life that you're living with maybe kids and a job, but it's even, can you get like 2 minutes a day where you just sit outside quietly or really be present when you're taking your shower. You know, you give yourself something to anchor into during this month. Is there anything else that comes up for you?
Yeah, what they were showing me is, well, with the four, I always imagine kind of like a table, the four legs of a table. And then, but that was like, but humans don't have four legs, so how does this apply? But they're like,
You just get all fours and crawl around, dummy.
they're like, but as a human, you know when you're off kilter or off balance. So for hearts, for April, it's before you either have that discussion or do that inventory or have that outburst or whatever it is, try to find a moment to pause to ask yourself, am I on solid ground?
Oh, that's so good.
Do I feel grounded? Do I feel stable? And they're like, and if energetically you can't get the read on it, stand up. Because energetically, if you are not grounded, you'll lean. Like the energy will push you around. You'll notice. Remember when we used to do that thing before we would do Reiki sessions where like you would stand firmly, and then I think you would say, well, you'd ask the question, am I in my integrity? Mm-hmm. And you'd either like
you'd feel
fall
a
back.
push.
Yeah.
I feel a push.
If you're not, right.
Yeah.
So it's that same concept of really practicing. So for the hearts, April's about practicing. They love everything that Laura said about finding that private time, that personal time to get grounded and to get centered and to reflect and to tune into yourself. That is just as important as what I'm about to say, which is in the moments where you feel activated, trying to carve out a little bit of a pause to ask yourself or to feel into, am I on solid ground? Because what hearts might find out is that oftentimes you are reacting from a place of not being on solid ground. And then as a result, the emotions get really wonky, like an argument probably ensues. There's flare-ups that don't need to happen. And now they're reminding us of the conversation we had at the beginning, which is like having that face heat or that face flash, that like upper level anger versus like that grounded no. If you're in a grounded no, you're probably not going to have the emotional outburst. It's probably going to be a far more authoritative response. Like, I'm speaking on my own authority, my own groundedness. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
Versus being like, "Rah!"
Exactly. And I actually think this is really good advice for hearts for a lot of time or all times, because they're hearts, they tend to jump right into the emotional reaction. So this practice of a pause beforehand. And I also think, like, just in general for everyone, all of this stuff is all about micro practices throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Little things that you're doing where we have moved all the way away from going to meditate on a mountaintop. This is not the reality of our lives. Good for you if it is. But it's like you're trying to do these little things throughout the day. The busier you are, you know, the smaller the moment. But if you can...
That's really good. The busier you are, the smaller the moment. Oh.
Yeah, like, so you're just trying to find like little bits of time where you go stop, 3 or 4 breaths, stop, walk outside. I love to just lay on the ground. I've literally had, I'm not joking. I was at my parents' house and I was laying on the side of the hill at their house one time in the middle of the winter. And this lady stopped she's like, she helps like pick elderly people up and drive them around to places. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I didn't say I was trying to touch grass because I thought she was too old to understand what that meant. But I was like, I'm just relaxing. It's fine.
Trying to touch grass. Insane.
But it's like, what can you do in just a moment for 30 seconds? You're just trying to pull those in throughout the day it's not to stop yourself from having emotions. It's because that is an important piece, is to like let your emotions process through you. But it's probably more about getting through whatever you had to get through, like if you're at work, or not completely blowing up at the people that are standing in your field, like that are nearby you.
Yeah, because here's what I'm experiencing living with a human again, because for the past, I don't know, 14 months, I just lived with a dog. And it was amazing because, you know, the dog, she just accepts everything, accepts me fully as I am. And if she's not into it, she just goes to a dog bed and sighs. Uh, but I'm finding myself having to do that because I'll feel something come up, and what I'm asking myself is, does this have anything to do with the human in front of me, or is this my own shit?
Like, are you
And
feeling their energy?
no, not even so much feeling theirs as is this like 4-year-old Candy reacting right now? In which case, it is not the person's problem in front of me to deal with any of it.
Right.
And taking that pause, what usually happens is I'm quickly able to sort of see the thread of, yeah, like it's some younger part of me that is reacting because something in this in the immediate now moment triggered this. So now it's my responsibility to just sit with it and be like, okay, like how did she feel? What was going on? Okay, right. Like that was probably scary for her then, but that is not this now. Grown up Candy, I'm not scared. So I need to take care of little Candy. It is no one else's responsibility to take care of little Candy but my own. Yeah, I'm
Moment
now.
of silence for that profound tidbit.
It does not always work, but I can tell you that when it does work, and it's working more than it's not, when like there is no argument. There's no blow up. There is no like need to apologize afterwards, need to explain anything. I don't even have to let the person that's in front of me know everything that I just did because it's not their problem.
Yeah.
It's my own
Full
thing to fix.
accountability. That's what we learned from Jim and Jill, the
It
shamans
was.
that we went to. And it was one of the first things they told us was like, let's say you come in and you're into a session or something and you're like super mad at your partner or whatever. And they would basically be like, you don't have to say it. Like, you don't have to tell them any of this. In fact, it's probably better if you don't. It's not that you're hiding things. I mean, obviously you can tell them after you process it, but what they're saying is whatever words that need to come out of your mouth at the moment, like, because we've talked about this before, it's like sometimes you're just trying to find the words that create the emotional response in your body so that you can clear it. Because when the words are the truth that resonates with you. So they would work with us on saying the words, like getting to the sentence that's going to make you cry or make you want to punch someone or whatever it is, to pull that up out of your body. And they're basically like, what would you say to your mom right now? And I mean, I think they do this in therapy too. I've not been to real therapy. I've only been to shaman therapy. But it's like, but I think when you're in the moment with someone, you feel like you need to say it to them. But you actually really don't, because like you said, you're working on healing it within yourself. And when you heal that, whatever that pattern is, whatever just happened won't be a thing anymore for you.
Yeah, and this is not easy. So I just made it sound
We're
simple.
just making it
It's
like,
not.
oh, it's just casual. No, it's really
I
not.
went to the shamans almost 15 years ago, and I am just now actually able to, on occasion, put it into practice. So, like, it takes work and effort, but what it takes is diligence
Yeah.
and, like, understanding that not everything can be the outside world's fault. So, especially for the hearts, you guys are tender. So if you can just take a pause, what you might start to realize is that, yeah, the world can be a hurtful, scary place, but also you're strong and you're safe.
Right. So if we start the diamonds here, and people are skipping ahead, FYI, what we just went over with the hearts actually really applies to most people. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
diamonds.
So if you skipped ahead, go back. Go back, babe, because you need it to.
Okay. Hold on, I'm coming back. 8 of spades for the diamonds. Picture this.
Oh wait, we skipped the clubs. So
Shit.
is that the diamonds? We can
I
go
said
out of
diamonds.
order.
We're skipping them. Fuck it. 8 of spades for the diamonds. Picture this. We'll go back to the clubs in a second. This is a manifestation card. This is a really powerful card. This is a card of earth energy, groundedness, strength. This is actually very much in alignment with that no energy that we talked about at the beginning. So, Candy, what comes in when you hear that? What? Look at this. Hold on. We use the same flowers
Oh,
on
we
the Two of Hearts as the Eight
did.
of Spades. That's so interesting.
That
Okay.
is.
I don't know what
Okay,
that means.
so as a double diamond, what they were showing me is they were showing me that balance sheet, that inventory that we were talking about earlier. And this is directly related to that because diamonds, we filter everything through our value system. Is it worth my time, my energy, my money, my resources, whatever? And so this is completely your choice. Picture this. I'm going to focus on the negative column. Congrats. That's what you're going to manifest. Or I'm going to focus solely on the positive column. Congrats. That's totally what you're going to manifest. Or I'm going to pick and choose because I really need to work on like this negative thing that's here. I know I also need to work on that. So I'm going to focus on that as an opportunity for growth. And then I'm also going to focus on these other things that I'm really good at and that I love to see in the world because I want to also be able to get like that little dopamine hit of a reward system through the month. So yeah, I'm going to do my work, but I'm also going to get my rewards. So for a diamond, that's going to be really important in April. Do not beat yourself up. We're really good at this because we're really good at balancing debits and credits, and we hate to like see anything in the negative column. But these words literally came out of my mouth today is if there is no tension, if there is no pressure, if there is no discomfort, there would be no diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, this would be a world full of coal if it was all easy. And how ugly and smelly would that be? So
Yeah.
we need the pressure. We need the ability for growth. That's what makes the diamonds.
I love that. That's perfect. Oh my God. Okay. Gonna move to clubs.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, I got Seven of Hearts, Crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
So we have crisscross railroad tracks and the drama mask or whatever the drama comedy masks,
Mm-hmm.
and some pansies, and a crystal pendulum. So pendulum would indicate you're at a decision point. Crossroads also decision point. Sevens, any odd card usually indicates some kind of change or shifting, and then the hearts would be an emotional shift or change, but really because it's a seven, it's like if there's an obstacle in your path, you have to elevate over the obstacle. So in this case, because it's a heart, you're elevating over the obstacle emotionally, or if maybe it's an emotional obstacle. Could also be taking like the spiritual, I would say almost like the high road, in an emotional setting, if you're having like an emotional battle with someone. That's kind of the standard definition of the card. So, Candy, what is coming through for the clubs?
Yeah. Like, yeah. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Especially the last part because they were they were showing the elements on the card, and they kept showing me the masks, the actor mask essentially, and they were like, so for clubs, you guys are really good at going through the data, and really good at then putting together the logical or mental argument around like the point that you're trying to make or the information that you're trying to educate yourself around. And they're like, that's awesome. But for April, it's probably not going to work as well. So the practice in April is you can do whatever like mental gathering of information that you need to, but the real work is then like imagining putting on the mask, like stepping into somebody else's shoes and trying to see it from their perspective. Because what you're going to find out is that probably the information that you gather doesn't really matter. It's really more just kind of about shifting that perspective a little bit to be able to hold the space of, I don't necessarily agree with them, but I can hold space for them and I can honor and value their viewpoint, even if it might not be my own truth. So it's like learning. And they're like, this is all April. is all about lessons that are going to be really important going forward. In they're like, we know that you're going to hate this, but we're going to use it anyway, like the new earth. And it's we're just using the label new earth because we don't know what else to call it. And what you are all contributing to, whether you're conscious of it or not, is showing up differently so that the frequency and the vibrations can elevate, and then like all of everything can show up differently. Government can show up differently. Companies can show up differently. Abundance can show up differently. So
People can stop using plastic fucking bags at the grocery store.
yes, because at some point it will repulse us all, because we'll be like, oh my God, like that is hurting the planet. And when we hurt the planet, that also hurts us. Like the interconnectedness of everything and everyone on earth is going to become so tantamount that we can't not be aware of it. So April is practice for this. So for the clubs, you're practicing, do whatever mental gymnastics you need to do, but then put on the mask to really be like, okay, I'm going to get into character of the person that I'm interacting with. I'm going to take on their spirit. I'm going to own this part. Oh yeah, they don't give a shit about any of the data that I just collected because they're feeling this deeply on an emotional level. So my mental gymnastics doesn't matter to their emotions.
This is so interesting because, first of all, yes, clubs are always more mental and they're trying to learn to feel their emotions. But the Seven of Hearts would be like an elevated, seven is a pretty spiritual number, just not only in the cards, but in general. I mean, just ask Prince. And so, you know what I mean? So the Seven of Hearts people who are Seven of Hearts are, they're emotionally sensitive, but they can also be really elevated emotionally. Oh. So like they have the opportunity to achieve this highly intelligent emotional self. And so if you're telling clubs, like this is like asking them to be more emotionally intelligent, and how do you do that? You step out of the fact arguing and the mental analysis, and you step into someone else's viewpoint, but not just their viewpoint, how they feel, how they might feel. Really good shit, Candy.
Yeah, well, I wish I could take credit for it.
You got angry Candy out of the way so you could listen.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
All right, now we're in spade territory. Man, why do I always drop them on the floor? Ooh, we got another seven. 7 spades for the spades. Make it happen. And the white dove, they're representing that concept of the 7 being a spiritual number. And there's a cowboy, because cowboys take care of business, don't they?
Oh my God. I just heard the riff when the white dove, of Prince, because you said Prince earlier that, what is that riff, that guitar riff that he plays? Which song is that for? Anyway.
I don't know.
Side note. I don't know why Prince is hanging out with us on this podcast.
I don't know either. Cool. There's a violet flower on here, a purple flower. Yes. Actually, there's a purple flower on here too. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so the spades in general just are taking action. So the 7 would be taking action from a more elevated perspective, making it happen, but like from a place of feeling really grounded in it, and like I really feel like I've got this because I've looked at it from a higher perspective. Is anything coming through for them?
We might have to talk about this. I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but what they're showing is like an elder, so like an older person, like that's the spade, I get it. And they're kind of showing maybe how sometimes as a spade, you might feel, I guess maybe the word would be detached, like detached from the experience, because you're like holding the space open for the youngins to like have the experience, like to step into their own power. So even though you might know, hey, if I just did X, then, this would be done. But you're like, all right, I'm going to see who steps in and does X because this is a learning moment. And what they're saying is not every moment can be a learning moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you, in some way, as a spade, are almost usurping the power of those around you, because there's also power in learning through observation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a disservice in making people wait for the answer or do it wrong, when there could potentially be a faster lesson learned in observing the right way to do it. So basically in April, they're asking the spades to step into that elder energy and lead by example.
That's so interesting, because you totally nailed it, because one of the negative qualities of the spade is detachment. Our teacher Paula used to say it's like when a cat just turns around and walks out of the room and it's like nothing but the butt. Like you're just like, okay, I guess you're just done with that then. But there's no drama around it. It's just this detachment.
Yeah.
And so and then I've also, I read this, I don't know what, something about these guys that wanted to learn how to do sharpshooting. And I guess that takes a long, long time. And they basically observed people for like 6 weeks. And then they maybe did it a couple times and learned it really, really quickly, because they spent so much time observing other experts doing it. So they're basically, the whole gist of this was, we can learn so much by watching other people do something. So it's like they can explain the sharpshooting to people. They can try to have them practice and practice and practice. But one of the biggest components of learning anything, I mean, it could be basketball or whatever, is watching someone else, because your brain is taking it in a way that's different than it being explained to you and it being practiced. So
right.
It's exactly the same thing like what you're saying with this, which is they might want, it's like the spades are so kind of, they're like sitting back and letting, it's like a letting you, they don't realize it can be a disservice, but they're really trying to let the person have their experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that is also kind of can slow things down. If you would just show them how to do it once or twice, then they might get it right away.
Totally. And an add-on to that is we don't have time for waiting anymore.
We do not have time.
No, like
time for
no.
this.
That was 2025, 2026. We don't have time, because if you just pause, club or not, everybody just pause and take a look around. We have a government that is learning as they go. It is a shit show. They didn't pay attention to the good that was done. They didn't log that. They didn't observe it. They're just like out there like, pew, 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 that didn't work. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, that didn't work. Pew, 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 pew. Like we need like precision, grounded,
Exactly.
learned, experienced precision.
Right.
So in April, and maybe even a little bit after, but definitely in April, the elders need to come forward. If you have experience in an area that you need to step forward, you need to lead by example. Others will follow. They'll develop that muscle memory. They'll step into leadership positions. But otherwise, what you're giving them the opportunity to do is to develop muscle memory of, I need to make 5 mistakes before I get it right the 6th time. No, we don't have time for that muscle memory anymore.
Yeah.
No, we don't have time. There's too much at stake right now. It's like, all right, pay attention. Watch me. I'm going to show you how I do it and why I do it this way. Got it? Cool. Now you try it. Boom. Nailed it. Okay, on to the next.
That is so interesting. I think that spreads beyond just people who are spades, like you said. Mm-hmm. Totally. All right, this is fucking long enough. Let's.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Bye.
See you guys next time. Bye. That wraps this episode of One Card Shy. Did you love it? Leave us a review, share it with your friends, and sign up for our monthly crown straightener. Bonus, you'll get our free Claim Your Crown guide when you subscribe.
And be sure to find us on Instagram and check out our website. Both are rainworld.co. All the links are below. See you next time, Queens.